Greetings. Welcome to episode, hang on, let me put the banner back up because I want to see it up there. I'm not allowed to chuckle at this, but it's episode 69. Welcome, everybody. And yes, I made it back in time from the hospital. I was being told to take it steady. I don't seem to be doing that just yet, but look, you got to look at this. I've now got wires hanging out of me everywhere. So, Yeah, I'm all wired up so that they're monitoring me for 3 days. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome. Let me jump in and catch up with the comments. I've lost my guest tonight as well. I was supposed to have Harrison Chamberlain on, and I've lost him because his car broke in testing today. So he's flat out. Best of luck with that, mate. I hope it gets sorted. Daniel Williams, evening, Mr. Dawes. What's the drink of choice tonight then? It is gin and tonic, but you can probably tell by the disappointment in my face. It's alcohol-free gin. It doesn't quite cut the mustard, I've got to tell you, but it's I've got to take the healthy. It's I've got one of those, and then I'm on the water. So yeah, it's a completely new thing for me. But there we go. Caroline Sutton. Good evening, Caroline. Obviously, we shall be seeing you on the weekend. Many of you will know that it's the Mark Sutton Remembrance, our 2020 Saloon Car Champion. And I'll come on to that in more detail. And your husband is still very, very fondly remembered, and frankly will never ever be forgotten. He was just the nicest teddy bear going, basically. Joe Hathaway, evening all. Currently on the way home from a very successful test today. Good man. Excuse me. Roll on Saturday. That's what I like to hear, mate. A successful test is always good. David Vass, hi Chris. I hope you're now well and fighting fit after being plugged into the mains today. I don't think I'm quite fighting fit yet, David, if I'm completely honest. For those of you who might not know, is that I think the majority of you do know now because it's been sort of broadcast somewhat, is that I was rushed away on the Sunday of the 2-day race meeting to hospital with chest pains. Suddenly really hurt, chest pains, breathing was going, and I then went from a high heart rate to 38 beats per minute, nearly passing out. And I got blue lighted to the hospital. I was in A&E until about 2:15 in the morning, and then moved up to the acute ward and then released about 4 or 5 o'clock on the Monday evening. The good news is I'm not in danger. It wasn't a heart attack. I'm not in danger. Apparently my arteries you could drive a bus through. They're really good, healthy looking. There's a slight bridging, but not enough to cause any great issue. But it's an arrhythmia, it's a brachycardia. I don't know. They came up with all these different names. I've still just been to the hospital for some more tests and just completed an echocardiogram, which is basically finding out if I was pregnant or not. That's what it felt like anyway. I mean, I know what it looks like when I got my t-shirt on, but I'm not. And I've got this now, 72-hour. Basically, I'm wired up to the ECG, got these stickers on me everywhere, and every time something goes slightly wrong, because I get palpitations, I get chest pains, all those kind of things, and if it happens I got to press the green button and note down what I'm doing. So fingers crossed it'll be behind me. Know what it is, know what I can do, can't do. I've got to work less stress, drink less alcohol, drink more water, drink less caffeine, sorry. But I have to say again, a massive thank you to the medical team at Castle Combe Circuit. Thankfully, I'm not on the racetrack, so I've not needed to go visiting them during the day. I certainly did that time, and they were wonderful. As was Carl Dyson, one of the officials that said, "No, you're not going back up to the box, Chris. You're coming into the medical centre." So bless you, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. So 3 days of being monitored, and we'll see how it goes. Emma Brown says, evening all. Unfortunately, me and Dom are unable to make the long trip this time. I saw that. What a shame. For some reason, I decided changing jobs mid-season was a good idea. We'll be back August bank holiday, already on countdown. That's what I like to hear. Tim Perry, one of Orange Army. Dilly, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well and as happy as I am to see Dawsey back. Bless you, mate. Bless you. Thank you very much. It's alcohol-free. Mike Cotton, great to see you. Great to see you too. Thank you, my friend. And I know that you asked whether the show was on. That was really sweet of you. Thank you very much. Mike, I am. It takes a lot more than this to keep me away. I had a couple of weeks of doing very little. The legacy I still have is my energy levels are really, really low. So I might not be quite as bouncy as I normally am because my energy is flawed. And occasionally my memory goes a little bit as well, which I think is more linked to my energy rather than the heart thing. So there we go. Greetings from your bionic marshal, or known to me as the dancing queen. Pippa, bless you. I've been keeping up. I hope you're doing well and you're doing what the doctors are telling you. You're having more tests and ops and all sorts of things. God bless you, Pippa. Keep going. I want to see you back in your orange overalls, being a mighty orange army and dancing in the pit lane as I see you doing it. Bless you. Take care. Mary Ward, good evening. Take it easy. So you are ready for Saturday. I am doing exactly that. Well, tomorrow I'm actually at the circuit as well because I'm hosting the racing school. Tuesday, I was at Donington Park hosting the live stream of the supercar driver secret meet that isn't secret anymore. Tomorrow, I'm hosting the racing school. Saturday in the main commentary box. Yeah, I haven't quite mastered this take it easy thing yet, have I? But rest assured, I've had a wake up call, so it's all being assessed. Emma Brown, safe racing to all, especially my wonderful Formula Forders. P.S. Get well soon, Dawsey. Thank you, my love. Bless you. George Gillespie. Hi, Chris. First time at Castle Combe Carnivals. I'm only 12. Well, welcome, George, and have a wonderful time. I warn you now, that's it. You're going to be hooked forever. I remember myself being a youngster going up there and watching. You'll absolutely love it. It's absolutely wonderful. Make sure you wave up to the commentary box when you come past as well. Pete Spiller, hello, mate. Evening, Dawsey. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Emma Strawford, hello, Em. Good evening, Dawsey boy. On the soft drinks tonight too. Are you? You're on them as well. You're busy, I think, tomorrow, aren't you? Not at work, but knowing you, you'll still be busy anyway. But here's to the soft drinks. Pete says, just back from testing, changes to the TT. Praying for a dry race as Dave was properly on the pace. That's brilliant because you've had an unfortunate year so far, haven't you, in the white TT? So best of luck to Dave and team. I hope you've got it sorted. That would be wicked to see. Chris Rea, another one of Orange Army. Evening, Chris. Thanks again for the help at JDM last week. No, thank you for your help and everything. It was a nice, easier step back in last Saturday. So thank you for that. Hello, says Castle Combe Racing Club. If that's you, Kat, I won't say where you are right now then. I'm not going to get you in trouble. Darren Duffield, evening, mate. Evening all, and Mr. D. I'm the afterthought, am I there, Dazza? Thanks, mate. Dom, obviously, I can't make it down with Emma for the Formula Ford coordinators. I'm also a broken soldier as my sciatica has flared up, so perhaps a good job we are not attending. Bless you, mate. I know friends that have got that, and I feel for you, my friend. So take it steady, buddy. Take it steady. Just do what you can. Pete Spiller says, no is the answer. There's no acute angina jokes whatsoever, because thankfully it ended up not being angina by the looks of it. So we're not making those jokes, mate. All right. Can always trust you, can't we? Elliot Harris, so good to hear you on the men, Chris. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. We will get to the show in a minute, I promise. Matt Coyle says, I can't comment. Why not? I'm sure you can, mate. Hopefully we'll see you on the weekend. That's the Saloon Car coordinator, of course. Russell Pointer Brown. Hi, Chris. Good to see you on better form. Stay well, mate. Thank you, mate. Laughter's the best medicine. That's my philosophy. And if I can't make anyone else laugh, I'll at least make myself laugh. And I'll start feeling better anyway. Carl Olden. Yeah, I think in answer to Pete Spiller there, you're not seeing the forecast then. I've stopped looking because it keeps changing, if I'm honest. I mean, the biblical rain we had at Donington Park on Tuesday was ridiculous. And yet all we had was on the forecast was a few light showers at the end of the day. Today, here, my forecast said it was going to be rainy. We've had beautiful sunshine all day. So I've given up trust in it. I rely on windows now. How about that? Doors relies on windows. There's a story right there. Andy Lawrence, I have some great decaf here for coffee without the caffeine. Good men, thank you very much, because I'm with you a week on Saturday, aren't I? We're doing the stream of the Dick Mayo Sprint. I'm looking forward to it, mate. I really, really am. It's been too long that you and I have worked together on that. Matt Cole, good to see you, Dawsey. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Rich King, Bristol Detailing Supplies. We're happy to see you back for JDM Combe, Master of the Mic. Bless you, Rich. It was lovely to see you as well, mate. Appreciate it. I hope you had a good day there as well until the weather turned. Well, we up and down, wasn't it, the weather? But it seemed like a good footfall. So I hope you had a good day, mate. And it was great to be back. Appreciate it. Even if you did take the mickey out of me. Carl Alden says, evening all. George, very excited for the GT Championship, says George. So this is a 12-year-old that's saying that it's going to be his first time to Castle Combe. I think we can all remember that. Well, remember, if you're very excited for the GT Championship, that's the grid walk at lunchtime. What time's that at? That's at 12:35. So as long as we're on schedule, as long as the weather's not awful, you'll be able to go onto the grid, wander up close to those cars on the start-finish line, which is really cool as well. Speak to the drivers. Myself or one of my colleagues will be down with a microphone interviewing the GT drivers as well. So it's really cool. Tim Perry, take it easy, Dawsey. I'm trying, mate. Good to see you. Mr. Dawsey, says Carl Holden. James Reese says, JDM was amazing, by the way. Good man, good. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It was good to be. That's my first action day that I've covered this year because I've been booked elsewhere for the rest. And I think I'm back for Halloween action day. I'll be back on it again. Lucas Romanek says, good to see you back. Looking forward to Saturday. I think we should be saying good to see you're back as well, mate. Last time you were off at Snetterton, weren't you? I think it was a double victory you got over there in that one, but we'll see you back at Castle Combe this time. Right, let's have a look. What have we got on the go then this weekend? Okay, now, circumstantially, there's no visiting championships. And I'm just going to quickly finish these. Couple more messages come in. Pete Spiller, any space for a sponsor this weekend? So that's Rich King from Bristol Detailing Supplies. I'll leave you two to chat with each other about that. Dave Weston says, Tina is being Emma and Dom for the Formula Ford 1600s, Tina for the hot hatches and the Mark Sutton race, the latter with assistance from Matt. Goodness me, you're going to be busy then this weekend. Bless you. Emma Straw said, windows and curtains app used in my house too. Yep, I know it. Ignore, even everyone. Hope the weekend goes really well. Won't be there, unfortunately, as working at Dunsfold. So he's out in supercars again, isn't he? Right. So, yes, circumstantially, we've got no visiting championships. We were due to have at least one other thing that was, through no fault of the racing club, forced out of the event, sadly. May happen again, may happen next year, but it was out of our control, out of the club's control. So that has left a bit of a gap. The team have worked incredibly hard to try and sort out a day. And totally different this time is we've got 3 free practice sessions at the beginning of the day. The drivers, I'm sure you've all been told about this, and you're able to take part. At 8:30, we've got a closed wheel free practice for the GTs and the sports racers. The sports racers, of course, that are in the Norman Lackford Memorial Trophy, and I'll come on to that in a minute. And then we've got a closed wheel, so that's 15 minutes, then 15-minute free practice for the saloons and the hot hatches, and then finally 15-minute free practice for open wheels, so Formula Fords, ostensibly, I would imagine, probably exclusively, unless anyone's sneaking in that I'm not aware of, but the Formula Fords. Then we'll get into the qualifying, and everything qualifying-wise will be taken care of in the morning, and then it will be the GT Championship grid walk, which of course then means that the GTs get our race action under the way, the first of their double header straight after the lunch break. Andy Lawrence from Bristol Motor Club says, really looking forward to working with you next week. I'll have a flask of decaf with your name on it. Is this that specially made stuff that you had last time? Hopefully iced coffee because of the hot weather. I remember you had that. It was really cool looking. So if you got spare of that, mate, I'll be super happy. Pete Spiller's confirmed that there's always space for sponsors there. And Emma Brown says, have to say a massive thank you to Tina for stepping in for her and Dom. So passing on that thanks there as well. So what have we got racing-wise? We've got the GT Championship, as I said. What have we got in terms of the entries for this one? So we've got 4 Class A cars. We've got Dylan Popovich out in his Ginetta G50, Keith Johnston out in a Ginetta G50, as is Chris Everall, and David Graham's out in his GT3 version of the G55. No, sorry, the G50. Chris Everall's out in his G55, sorry. So that's the Class A cars. Class B, another 4 of those. Leo Meakin in a Ginetta G40. Ruben Taylor in the Peugeot 206. Both of those, from memory, are actually the Silhouette cars. 49 Ruben Taylor in the Silhouette Peugeot 206. Sorry, I've already said that one. 56. Good to see Alan Hamilton and Flirtations Florist back out in that wonderful blue Westfield Race Aero. And Josh Smith. Oh, wicked. Josh is out in a Caterham RLM 260 edition. We know Josh historically used to race in the sports cars, and he's a lecturer at Bridgewater and Taunton College Motorsport. So they're out. Last year's champions, the number one car. Remember, you're able to share the car these days, and so I'd assume that Kevin Bird's going to do one, and Charlie Bird's going to do the other. I did actually message Charlie to see if he was going to come on the show, but he's obviously busy because he didn't get a chance to reply. Good to see. So they're Class C. Also in Class C, we've got Jordan Billington. Welcome back, mate, in the Lamborghini Gallardo. That'd be brilliant to see. Keith Butcher in that incredible looking black Lamborghini Huracan Evo GT3. Phenomenal looking car. And talking about phenomenal, number 60, Doug Watson, back out in his Ferrari 488. I cannot wait to see that back out because it was really good. I'll have to get Doug and Keith on at some point to talk about these amazing pieces of kit. But Doug was saying that he's reached his limit long before the car's limit. He's still trying to get used to it. And the last couple of race meetings that we had with the GTs, he was getting more comfortable with that, and he was getting quicker. And he said the speed that he's able to take up Avon Rise is just incredible. So we look forward to seeing that back out. Class D, we've got past champion Jamie Sturgis out in the Volkswagen Golf TCR. I love watching that thing go around. It's on rails. It's just amazing. And then Mark Sear in the BMW E46 M3. And then finally in Class E, we've got the Lotus Elise of Stephen Cohen and the Honda Civic of Alexander Baldwin. So a cracking entry. By my maths, that was 16 cars we've got in the GT Championship, and it is a double header for them. In terms of the championship standings at the moment, bear with the racing club, by the way, because the website's completely new, completely redone, and it's not quite done yet, is the point. So the point tables, hopefully they may be up there this weekend, but everything's getting sorted. Hopefully we'll have all the past news stories reinstated at some point as well, but everything just got to take time, and the team that are doing it on behalf of the racing club are working hard behind the scenes, I can assure you. In terms of the championship standings then, on 19 points, leading the way is the past champion Jamie Sturgis. So he's leading on 19 points. 17 points is last year's champions, the white Porsche number one of Charlie and Kevin Bird. So they're only 2 points behind. Then only 1 point behind them on 16 is Alan Hamilton. He'll be keen. He's such a staunch supporter as well, isn't he? As are the Birds in particular as well. But Alan Hamilton really, he would be ecstatic to be able to get that. They're all class leaders. Class D for Jamie Sturgis, Class C for the Birds, and Alan Hamilton leading Class B. Then about 5 points further back is Chris Everall in the Class A, the Ginetta. But I have to say, Dylan Popovich was getting quicker and quicker in his Ginetta. So that'll be really interesting to see how that one's going to go. So they are race number 1 and race number 5, both 20-minute races for them. Let me just quickly catch up with that. Drewster, hello, mate. Rob Drew, one of Orange Army, evening all. Stuart Tinker Taylor, good evening, mate. Good evening, Chris. Won't be able to make this weekend. Have a great meeting. PSV Castle Combe put a stair lift in for you to get you up to the commentary box. No, they haven't, mate. They haven't done. Hopefully, we'll get some aircon in there at some point. Well, I've been told that was an aim, but whether that had anything to do with last time, we don't know. But I don't think it's going to be as hot as the last weekend. I thought you were back to watch your fuffers again this time, mate. I knew you were on holiday last time, but I thought you were back again by now. Right, after the GTs, race number 2 is the Formula Fords. What have we got in the Formula Fords? Right, whole clutch of Class A cars. I can't even add them up, but let's go through them. Felix Fisher and Luke Cooper. That got tense, didn't it, at the end of the last race? Incredible that it's a bit soap opera. And you know me, I like to add a bit of the zhuzh to the races, but they did it for me, really, there. James Keepo, past champ in the Saloons as well. Even and all, bring on the rain. If it rains, you know it's Keepo's been doing the rain dance, all right? That's the reason. So, yes, numbers 1 and 2, Felix Fisher, Luke Cooper, they're both out. great to see that we've got in number 20 Charlie Mann. Now he's 21. He's just turned 21 this year, is Charlie, and he was been spending the last 3 years racing in the Mini Challenge, and that has included a number of podiums and even a few race wins in that as well. And he's turned his attention to the Formula Fords this year with great excitement, and he's doing the National Formula Ford Championship, and we get to see him out at Castle Combe for this one. 22, Vincent J. Tom Hawkins in the 28. He's been super impressive for me, as has Kieran Atwood, although he's had a little bit of bad luck from memory this year as well. Rory Smith out in the 45 car and the other BM race in Medina. Stephen Billett, hopefully he'll be out with the Wiltshire College car number 58, because we still haven't seen that wonderful new livery out on circuit racing yet, have we? 72, Tom Radburn. We've already heard that Lucas Romanek, number 73, he'll be back out again in Class A. Also, James Colburn, Ben Mitchell. How about this? Number 84, Wayne Poole. Wayne Poole himself. I know he told me he was hoping to do that at some point, but Wayne Poole is out in one of the Wayne Poole racing cars. That's a blast from the past. We need a few other of the legends coming back out, don't we? Emma Strawford, by the way, said that she'll be having a word with Father about the weather. Come on, Father, we need decent weather. But I'm really excited to see Wayne Poole out. That's going to be really cool. Last time I commentated on Wayne Poole was actually up at Alton Park, and that had been the first race in a long time. And what they say is like getting back on a bike. We want to see the likes of Ed Moore come back and race. He still does some karting. I don't know whether Kevin Mills races at all. I think he's so busy running people, he doesn't get a chance to anymore. But that would be good. Brian Soul, you race a bit of bits and pieces. It'd be good to see you out as well, mate. So Bob Hawkins in 91, 189 Tom Nippers. So that's good to see that Tom Nippers is back. I wasn't sure. The Welsh driver coming over. Weren't sure whether last time was a one-off or not, so great to see that Tom's coming back out again. Class B, Nathan Ward and Sam Street, both of those two are duking it out brilliantly. I'm enjoying these two fighting, and Nathan Ward has got one of our young Orange Army that is going to be out with him. Thomas, apologies if I pronounce that wrong, because I probably haven't put enough of a Welsh accent on for that name, have I now? But Thomas, I've even made sure that I saved the post for that one, because I think it's an interesting point. So Nick Ramsden, who works up in race control, Thomas, youngster that was the 2019 New Marshal of the Year, he's actually going to be working with Nathan Ward in the awning, working on all the mechanics and everything else. So that's a cool step that he's trying to learn. And I know that Tomo wants to race at some point. Nick knows as well, his dad, because I keep reminding him that Thomas wants to race and we want to see Thomas out there racing. But a wonderful story that he's going to be there working with Nathan Ward. And well done for helping that one. I love that Pete Spiller's put, apparently Wayne Poole was doing sub 1 minute laps. Yeah, of the pit lane. I don't know. Emma does say that Wayne was testing today, so that's good. Hopefully that test went well, and we are going to see him out as well. Emma Brown says Rory Smith is a very quick driver, has done well in Formula Fords in previous years, and recently done well in historics. Now, I thought that when I said the name Rory Smith, I agree, and I thought it was one to be really excited about. Louise Murray says, "Hi Chris, looking forward to Saturday. Be great to see you there. My hero, Chris Mason, evening all. Hope everyone is well. Welcome, buddy." And Paul Wills says, "Not sure you got a big enough glass." It was a prize to me as well. This was the special recognition from Castle Combe Racing Club for all the stuff that we did with the shows during the pandemic. But if you missed the beginning, it's alcohol-free gin and tonic. See, I wonder if I could mix it the other way around. Alcohol-free gin, but alcoholic tonic. I wonder if they do that. It's fluid still then, isn't it? Surely I'm keeping my fluids up. So Class B, Nathan Ward, Sam Street. In Class C, we got Michael Phillips and Kane Tilley and David Cobbold. And then Alicia Hamlin in the Royal RP36 Class D car. So 20 Formula Fords that are out. Louise Murray says that's my kind of glass. It is. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. It's a great size. And remember, my hands are quite big as well. So it's even bigger than that. In terms of the standings in the Formula 4 Championship, then. So overall, Felix Fischer is leading away on the 134. So he won his first championship last year. Is it going to be like buses? Is it going to come along again and do it? But Luke Cooper is only on 128 points, so 6 points behind him. That's all it is, just 6 points. And we've still got 6 races left. So 6.6 races, that's not a lot of margin. So Luke Cooper is determined. And from memory, double victory in the last one. He's going to be trying to go all out. Ben Mitchell's doing a great job, third overall as well. I said Tom Hawkins has been going well. He's fourth in the standings. Adam Higgins, didn't he go quick last time? Shame he's not on the list at the moment. I don't know why we've not got Adam Higgins. That looked just super quick. And Nathan Ward in the Class B car is sixth overall. Class A, obviously Felix Fischer, Luke Cooper, Ben Mitchell. Class B, Nathan Ward on 68 points. Sam Street on 55. So there's only, what's that? That's 8... That's 13 points between those two at the moment, so that's close. Class C being led on 65 by David Cobbold, 56 for Kane Tilley, so Kane's doing really well as well. And Class D, Elisa Hamlin on 60 points, so Elisa's still leading the way. So that is the championship standings for this one. They've got a double header as well, so they are out for race number 2 and race number 7, so that'll be both two 10-lap races. That's easy for me to say. For the Formula Fords, everybody knows I'm a huge Formula Ford fan, so I'll be enjoying that. Chris Savage, evening, Sav. Evening, Sick Note. Hope you're doing well. Hope that's sparkling water. It's not. It's next best thing, to be honest. It still does taste better than sparkling water. Let's not kid ourselves. I can't stand sparkling water. Dave Baggy Malpass, evening, Chris. Hope you're better. Sorry I can't be there tomorrow. Oh, mate, we're missing you, Ari, but I wish everyone a safe and enjoyable day. Dilly dilly. And I've still got your pink gin that you gave me the miniature as a gift at the last race meet on the Saturday. I think you gave that to me. Might have been on Sunday, actually, thinking about it. But understandably, I still haven't drunk that one yet. But cheers, mate. Thank you for it nonetheless. Much appreciated. And we'll see you next time then. And Chris Mason says, Joshy says, evening, Dawsy. Hope you're well. Evening, Joshy. Hello, mate. You all right? Good to see you watching again, buddy. Louise Murray says, glad to see you back up and running again, Chris. You had us all worried. Bless you. Hey, it's any consolation. I had myself pretty worried. It was a little bit more scary than I'd like. And I tell you what, the ambulance, goodness me, they did the lights and sirens because they didn't want me to go again in the back on the journey, and they were decent enough to take me to Great Western in Swindon where I live rather than usually into Bath. From the med centre out through the busy paddock and then all the way to Great Western Hospital, 20 minutes. It was ridiculous. It was terrifying. I mean, it wasn't going to sort of keep the heart rate low, that's for sure. No, they were brilliant. They were so in control, but I've never been and don't want to ever have to be in an ambulance with the blues and twos going. But wow, they did an amazing job. Dom says, I'm sure you make more sense when you're on the proper drink, mate. I think so too, mate. I do. I've got too many thoughts going through when it's not fogged. See, foggy mind is a focused mind because you forget all the other bits that are trying to talk to you. Was that just me? I don't know. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Lisa. She says, hi, Chris. Glad to say you're looking so well. Just take it easy. Try not to get too excited. You know I'm not going to be able to do that. Once I get in the commentary box, it will be, stratospheric, especially with double headers on the likes of the Formula Fords and what have you. Keep up the fluids. I will be. I'm under strict instructions. Look, I've even got a bottle that measures how much I've had. So I've got to keep an eye on it. The problem is I'm so busy at work that I end up forgetting to. Where's the nurse? Looking after you, probably, mate. Chris Mason says they drive like we stole them. They do. Those paramedics really, really do. They are nuts. As I'm sure you were as well when you were the driver. Ashley Hazel says, looking forward to Saturday. Agreed. So, GTs, races 1 and 5. Formula Fords, races 2 and 7. What's after the Formula Fords is the Norman Lackford Memorial Trophy. Now, this, sadly, the numbers aren't very high. We were hoping to get the sports races. Many of you will probably have fond memories of these racing at Castle Combe, and just some of the quickest things you'll see around Castle Combe at all. They are just amazing pieces of kit. The OSS Championship, sadly, sort of died away, which is a huge shame because it was a super special championship. And the weird thing is the cars have to be out there somewhere. They are out there, but we've got just 8 running this at the moment. You never know. We might be lucky and get a few more. But I have to say, well done to Kat and the team, because that's 8 more than some people were giving them credit that they would get in the first place. So well done to Kat, well done to Alan Jenkins, all of those people. We will enjoy the sports prototypes going around. I'm telling you now, amazing. In terms of Norman Lackford, let's just bring up a couple of things to make sure that everyone remembers. Just quickly say that Matt Core says, once again, our amazing NHS has done it again. Absolutely, mate. They were amazing under very difficult circumstances. Some things that, where they're under pressure, weren't great, but you knew that it wasn't really their fault. Dan Williams says, so you're going to be wired up race day? That could give some interesting readings. I am, and they know it as well, is that, yes, this thing is recording everything during the day. And if it's like last Saturday when I was at the action day, is that Chris Mason gives me a radio and tells me to go to a particular channel and report straight away if I've got anything, and they'll be there in a flash. Not that I've made them nervous about me, but I was absolutely fine. So, but it will get some interesting readings when I get excited, won't they? Right, let me share the screen. I'm going to share this. Let me. Okay, so for anybody who may kind of go, I know the name Norman Lackford because it's, as I say, sadly, we've not seen the sports prototypes at Combe for a little while. You must remember that car, the wonderful purple car that he had for so many years. And you can almost see through there as well his amazing smile in his helmet there. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And sadly, we lost him last year. There he is, smiling as ever. I think he was something like 78 when we lost him. October last year, 6th of October. There he is up on the winner's car with Josh Smith. And of course, we're seeing Josh Smith racing with us this weekend as well. And one of the most wonderful sights is his team boss, mechanic, everything, pit board holder, the whole lot, was his lovely, lovely wife, Rachel. And Rachel's going to be with us on this weekend on the grid. So let me go through the details of this. You'll notice from that purple car, there is a big request to please, if at all possible, if you're coming onto the grid, there's going to be, ahead of the 2:15 race start, I'm assuming this has been cleared, is they're doing a very quick photograph on the grid in this Norman Lackford Remembrance Race, and please wear something purple. That's the request from Alan Jenkins. Can you wear something purple, or wave something purple or whatever? Because as you saw from that car, it's that famous purple car that we associate with the Cornish Flyer. So Rachel, Norman's wife, Robin, his brother, they'll be there. Other main guests will be 3 of Norman's friends who raced with him in the Wendy Wools special saloons in the 70s. And by the way, at one time, Norman and Rachel were the coordinators of that championship. So those guests, friends of his, Ginger Marshall of Reliant Kitten fame, who went on to build the Bowlby designed by Ben Bowlby as a young man, and he raced it in the OSS series. Dr. Dave Enderby of Carman Gear fame. In fact, Dave has rebuilt the car, the Carman Gear, and it raced a few weeks ago, but unfortunately it had some problems. Otherwise, it would have been with us on Saturday. And Jerry Taylor, who raced a Ford Anglia, presumably in that Wendy Wools special saloons. After Norman moved to Cornwall in the 90s, I think it was, he moved to Cornwall. Castle Combe, of course, became his local track, and he became a regular. He built his own sports prototype, the Saxon, that he was well known for. And he had invaluable help and advice from Andy Billett, one of Castle Combe's scrutineers and long-time noise officials. And Andy Billett's going to be there on Saturday as well, which is great. Norman then raced Radicals until they were no longer eligible for the Castle Combe GTs. He then raced in the OSS and was probably one of the most enthusiastic members, a huge fan of the OSS. And in the final year of OSS, before it ceased, he was second overall and Class B champion. He was a regular winner of the Ginger Marshall Trophy for over 70-year-olds. And he constantly won that one. Absolutely amazing guy. He comes under that bracket. You know, I forget the exact sentence, but you don't become too old to race. You grow older when you stop racing. And that was largely how he felt. So we're going to get to remember him very fondly. His career lasted over 50 years. Started out in 1969 in an MAE engine Ford Anglia before putting the engine in an Escort. Following on from an Escort was an Imp engine Fiat 850, which evolved into a BDA engine car. So you can see he was a big old tinkerer as well as a racer. Firstly, self-built Saxon Sport in the Special GT Championship before moving on to Radical Pro Sport and finally a Radical PR6. So that is of justified remembrance for him. Now, what have we got in that? So we have a Radical PR6 out there. Number 5, Doug Carter will be out. We've got Robert Gilman in a Radical Pro Sport. We got a fantastic looking car. Martin Bloss out in a Peugeot THP Spider. You wait till you see that. It's a wicked looking car. Andy Fido, in a Radical SR3 RS. I've been privileged enough to drive an SR3, a Radical SR3, around the Silverstone GP circuit. Those things are bonkers. They really are. Darcy Smith. So we've already seen Josh Smith. Well, Josh's dad, Darcy Smith, he's out in the Thatchway Motorsport and Team Scruff run. Praga. The Praga R1T is going to be out. I cannot wait to see this car. Sometimes it can be a bit temperamental, but as long as they can keep that thing running, it's going to be super cool around Castle Combe. Dominic Langdon Down out in a Radical SR3 RS, Chris Child in a Radical SR4, and John Gilman out in another Radical SR3. So those Radicals are just going to be bonkers around there as well. So that's to look forward to. That's race number 3, a 20-minute race, and race number 8, both of them rolling starts. On to the Hot Hatch series then. We have just a single race for the Hot Hatches this weekend. And the entry list for that is as follows. Let me just stop sharing the screen now. I've lost my mouse. There it is. Just before I move on. Jeff Cusworth says, evening Dawsey, no star jumps on Saturday. No, mate, definitely not. I think I'm doing walking and cycling. Walking and swimming is about my limit at the moment. Emma Brown says, I hope you told them you have to commentate on the Formula Ford Saturday and ECG may go bonkers. They do know, but considering it happened whilst I was commentating, they want it to be showing in that state as well. So, Craig, hello, mate. Yo, Mr. Dawes, great to see you back and looking forward to racing at Combe. Hello, all. We'll see. I think we'll see you there possibly. And I think you're joining me up in the commentary box for the Mighty Mini races when I'm covering the Mini Festival at Brands Hatch coming up soon as well. Tim Perry, understandably, says, yay, a Praga will be interesting. You're not wrong, mate. It's going to be wicked. It really will be. Right, the Hot Hatches. What have we got? So we've got a whole host in Class A. We've got Jason Stack in a Clio, Matthew Herman, the Herminator, in a Honda Civic. Another one, thank you for your messages during my recovery, mate. Appreciate it. George Kimber in his Clio, another very talented young racing driver that I intend to catch up with once they've all just settled into everything. Claire Pensome, lovely, lovely lady, Cherry and White Plant and Tool Harsh is the director of that company out in the Honda Civic, just growing in confidence, growing in skills. And it's good to see her allowing that to flow. She's gone from track days to racing for the first time this year. Dean Clayton in the VW Golf GTI Mark II 16 valve. Tim Fuchs-Bell in his Clio. Joe Dorrington. Good to see Joe out in the Honda Civic. Daniel Rowe in the Fiesta. Jonathan Fish in the Clio. Another couple of Clios, Mark Williams and Joe Hathaway. We heard from Joe that his car went brilliant and he's looking forward to Saturday. Good. Glad to hear that, Joe. And Kai Barker out in the Fiesta ST150. So that's all the Class A cars. Class B, we've got that fabulous and bonkers Citroen AX Sean Govard at the wheel of that one. Jeffrey Ryle in the Peugeot 106. Just, again, great to see Jeffrey Ryle back this year, and he's getting quicker and quicker with that Peugeot 106. Jake Olden out in the Saxo. Wish you the best of luck, mate. That's obviously the first of the Class C cars. Another couple of Class C. Ray Ferrari and Up Ferguson in his MGZR. Sean Deacon in the Peugeot 106 GTI. Emma's just told me to keep you on your toes. Claire Pensom's car has changed colour. Has it really? What colour is that then? It was a bright red, one tone. All of it was red. I'm interested to see what she's gone for. Class D, just Scott Hughes on his own in a Peugeot 106. Oh, Emma's just confirmed that it's black. Is it the same car then? She just wrapped it, coloured it, sprayed it, whatever? Or is it a different car for her? Be interesting to find out that one. Class E, of course, which is the minis. We've got Ollie Kingston, Daniel Williams, Gareth Haycock, George Walker, another talented young driver, Simon Fisher, Tim Daffin, Paul Dickinson, Steve Waite, and Gary Franks. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Class E minis. It becomes a whole thing in itself. And Emma's just confirmed it's wrapped. Thanks, Emma. So 27 cars. It's just fabulous. It's just fabulous. And you have to say that I think that is the Hot Hatch has got to be on the verge of becoming a championship. Say no more. But that's the Hot Hatches single race, 20 minutes, race number 4 of the 9 races we've got running. Then we're back into the GTs. Then we move on to the Saloon Car Championship. Let's have a look. Who have we got out in the saloons? Right, Class A, Harrison Chamberlain, hopefully out in that new Volkswagen Golf GTI. He was supposed to be my guest tonight, but bless him, the car's obviously had an issue today, so he's flat out trying to get that sorted, ready for Saturday. He was our driver of the day on Sunday. Incredible performance in race 1 in particular. Remember, he's moved over from what did he have before? The Renault Megane, I think it is, and I believe that's up for sale. And yeah, hopefully the Golf's going to be back because the car was quick. Harrison was super quick, super impressive. We've got Dave Spiller out in the Audi TT, and you heard from his dad that there's changes to that car, so expect even more from that one. It clearly had some issues last time, was struggling a fair bit, but hopefully, as you hear, that will be sorted. Ian Dowler says, looking forward to Saturday. Nathan Ward, hello, mate. Glad to see you on the Mendorzy. Thanks, mate. Can't wait for race day, where Assembly Area Marshal Thomas Ramsden will be joining my dad on mechanic duties. Big up the Orange Army. You missed it, Nathan. I've already bigged that one up. I did a whole bit on that. See, you can trust me. I'm going to do that. Tony Dolly out in the bright orange Seat Leon. Jack Bolton out in the Volkswagen Golf. Adam Preble, of course, the defending champion, out in his Vauxhall Astra. And his brother, Gary Preble, is back out again in his Seat Leon. I think this is what caused me the problems with the Heart on Sunday, is those two racing and Gary taking Adam out. I think it was that way round, or should we just say taking each other out? I think that's what pushed the Heart over the edge last time. That was incredible. But Gary's back out to play again. John McMillan in the Renault Megane and Peter Elliston in the Golf GTI. So that's the Class A cars. A couple of Class B. Corey Webber in the Clio and Mark Wyatt, of course, out in the Astra. And I'll check the points in a minute. But before I left them to do their second race without me, it was Mark Wyatt leading the championship. Class C, previous champion James Keepin in his MGZR, Jez Williams in the Peugeot 106 GTI, Ben Hindle in the Vauxhall Corsa, Nathan Sutton, of course, Mark Sutton's dad, out in the famous MGZR that we'll come on to in a moment. Really still poignant and emotional to see Nathan out in that car. James Blake in the MGZR, Tony Lannon in the Citroen Saxo, and Lee Waterman in the MGZR. And I know there's this huge desire to watch this fabulous fight between, I'm just making sure they're all there, James Blake and Lee Waterman and James Keepin. Of course, it's James Keepin, James Blake, and Lee Waterman in the 3 MGZRs. Get those 3 together. But James and I were chatting on the weekend, and something happens to one of them, and we sort of lose one of them. We haven't had the 3 of them duking it out properly yet. As soon as we get that, I tell you what, it's going to be a phenomenal race. So maybe this weekend, maybe. Class D, what a healthy field for this one. We've got Mike Good in the Corsa, Roger Good in the Fiesta, Tim Swift in the Peugeot 106, Anthony Weeks out in the Saxo, and Nick Mizzen. Great to see Nick Mizzen back out in the Ford Fiesta. And then in Class E is the BMW M3 of Ben Watson. He's going to be out there as well, apparently. So 23 cars in the Saloons. Let's have a quick look at the championship standings. So leading overall, he says, quickly scouring down, it's Mark Wyatt on 55 points. Mike Good on 53 points. A boy band is back out trying to see if he can win overall this year. So 55, 53. Then it's Adam Preble on 45. So he's got some work to do there to claw that one back. And then on 43 is James Blake. And then 40 is Rob Ellick, who I see is over in Spa. So Rob Ellick's not out this time. He's second in Class A at the moment, but he's over in Spa racing his golf by the looks of it. So yes, that's the championship. Mark's back in again, so he'll be looking to do his best. Mike Good's there, and he's going to get, he's going to get some serious challenging, but he's got the scope to win maximum points in that Class D because they are all turning out by the looks of it. So the Saloons, just a single header, race number 6, 15-lap race for those guys. Let me just quickly catch up on this. George, very good point. Can't wait to see Doug Watson. His amazing Ferrari. Loved watching him at Thruxton Circuit. You're not wrong. It's awesome. It really is. Tim Perry says, resuming the sibling rivalry. Can't wait. Was awesome to watch the Prebles. It really is. And something we've enjoyed for many, many years, and it never gets old. We have Matt Cole said, welcome back, Nick Mizzen. Absolutely. Obviously, he was with us at the last meet, but he was out in the Classic Touring Cars Racing Club event. I think it was the Boss, wasn't it? The blue oval Saloon Series. Tim Perry says, so nice to see Nathan Sutton out with his dad's MGZR. Such a beautiful way to celebrate his dad's racing success. 100% agree. It's very poignant. It means a lot. Elliot Harris confirming what I said, and I said it to James himself. James Blake having his best season yet. His MG is flying. Absolutely. He really is going great guns. As is Lee Waterman as well, was the other one that stood out for me. We know that Keepo's got the class to be at the front there all the time. So, Saloons, then we move back to Formula 4s, then we've got the second Norman Lackford Memorial Race, and then we move on to, you've just seen it mentioned multiple times, a very popular champ. It is the Mark Sutton Remembrance Race, and it's kind of evolved, this race. It is for Saloons, hot hatches and GTs, just not sports racing cars, sports prototypes, open-wheeled, single-seater racing cars. There are awards for first, second, third in each class. Overall winner of the Mark Sutton Remembrance Race as well. And it's now grown that it can be 2 drivers. And in fact, it can be 2 cars, 2 drivers. So like a relay, basically, 2 drivers, 2 cars. And it's a wonderful 30-minute race at the end of the day, 20-minute qualifying, 30-minute race, pit stop compulsory, 1 minute minimum. Single drivers won't need to leave the car, but they must stay still for 1 minute. So that's what's going to happen with that one. Hopefully the microphone will work in the pit lane. It did on Saturday, so we can get any kind of updates. Now, of course, Mark Sutton was let me just share a different screen now. There he is, champ 2020. A year that was crazy for so many of us with the pandemic, and he had to win this in a really still had plenty of races, but in a much shorter period of time. And he was a very popular. I'm looking at my monitor there as well to see the champ there. Just one of the nicest, most unassuming guys that I've come across. Just a lovely, lovely man, and many of you will recognise in particular the the MGZR. And it's so lovely that you'll see it at the hands of his son, Nathan Sutton, over the course of the weekend. And I know that Nathan Sutton and in particular, is he sharing? Is he relay racing? Yes, he is with Mike Good. They're relay racing, so they're in separate cars, and there's always been that link. And I know that it was emotional what they did. And Caroline, I'm pretty sure you were there. Leanne as well. I'm not sure. Hopefully, Leanne's going to be there as well. Obviously, that's Nathan's sister and Mark's daughter, and our heart still goes out to you all. Speak of the man himself. Big heart from Nathan Sutton. Thank you, my friend. I did ask if Nathan could come on, but understandably, it's going to be an emotional day. Plus, he was really busy running Wayne Poole and co as well. But bless you, my friend. And it's going to be a very, very special race, and it's a lovely way to round out the day. 30 minutes relay. I have no doubt, despite it being quite an emotional race, it's going to be done in high spirits, I reckon. And unless Caroline tells me otherwise, I shall attempt to do the commentary in high spirits, because that's the kind of guy he was. It was just, it's fun. Racing was for fun, to be with your friends and everything else. And so the plan will be to do it in the high spirits that he would have wanted it to be done. Ollie Hall says, good luck to James Blake in the Saloons. Thank you for that. So, who have we got running in the Mark Sutton Remembrance Race? And I hope you don't mind. I'm actually going to flick back. The car we're going to see all weekend, but it makes me emotional seeing a man in particular. So, car number 7, which is 2 drivers, both in the same car, James Keepin and Ben Hart out in Keepo's MGZR. In car number 8 is Ollie Kingston in his Mini Cooper S. Dylan Popovich, number 9, in his Ginetta G50. Jordan Billington out in his Lamborghini Gallardo Reiter GT3. And thank you. I was hoping you would comment, Caroline. Thank you for that. He says, go for it. I just didn't want to be disrespectful, but I could almost imagine that that's the kind of mood that he would want the race to be done in, is to have fun with it. So thank you for that comment, Caroline. It's always difficult in my role. You never quite know whether it's the right or wrong thing. 26 is Mike Good in his Corsa, Nathan Sutton in the MGZR that we saw there. In the 27 car, Ray Ferguson on his own in the MGZR. 39, James Blake in his MGZR. Although I think that may well be a different MGZR, because he doesn't want to take the risk with his championship car at the moment, because he's looking so well, as you heard from so many people, that he's going well. Elliot Harris saying it's his best so far. 46, the Honda Civic FD2R is being shared by Matthew Herman and Jordan Kerno. So good to see that Jordan's going to be back out. Missed you racing, Jordan. I know that he's been incredibly busy. 60, Robert Watson. That's Doug Watson's son in the BMW M3. I think it is anyway. Is that Robert, one of his sons? I think it is. I'll probably be proven wrong in the end. 65, sharing the Saxo. This is lovely. Father and son, Tony and John Lannon. It's so good to see Tony out racing this year as well. I came across Tony when they were doing the sprint. I can't remember if it was the Great Western or the Dick Mayo sprint, and out there. And it's good to see that Tony's out racing this year. And John hasn't had the luck to be out as often as we'd have liked, but they're sharing this, one of the Citroen Saxos. So we'll have the 65 car out. 88, Chaz Riles. Good to see Chaz out himself. He's normally running everybody else, but Chaz is out in the MGZS. 93 is a relay team. Corey Webber in the Clio and Lee Waterman in his MGZR. 95 is a shared car, Paul Dickinson and Matt Parr. We've got Matt Parr back out at last. I wonder whether that means Papa Parr is going to be there cheering him on as well. But they're out sharing the Mini Cooper. That Paul Dickinson, presumably that's the one that he races in his Hot Hatch series. 99, Ian Dowler in the MGZR. Harrison Chamberlain out in the Golf. Fingers crossed. Obviously, we say that he would have been on tonight, but he's really busy. 158, Daniel Rowe in his Fiesta. 180, Mark Williams in the Clio. Joe Hathaway in his Clio in 199. And we heard Joe say earlier that it was going really well in testing today. Alexander Baldwin in the 223 Honda Civic. 887, Steve Waite in the Mini Cooper. 888 David Graham in his Ginetta G50 GT3, and 905 Gary Franks in his Mini Cooper. Oh, James Keepin says, not in my car. So James Keepin in the number 7, sharing with Ben Hart. Lee Waterman supplied a fantastic looking MGZR for this race. Cool, man. That'll throw me on the colours then, won't it? But that's really good to see. So 28 drivers entered, which is a total of 22 teams. So 22 starting, because as I say, was where we've got drivers together as a team on this. So 22 on the grid, 28 starting, and that's fabulous. We might even get a few late entries, who knows? But what a fitting way to do it, that it's really been grabbed with both hands. If anybody's on the fence and not sure, contemplating whether to do it, for registered members, the entrance fee is only £150. Second driver, £50. So if there's two of you, just £200 between the two of you to enter this race. 20-minute qualifying, 30-minute race. Non-members, so if you're not a Castle Combe Racing Club member, £235 to enter it. Get in there, get it done. There's some great trophies. It's in memory of a very, very special champ and a family that still come and support all of our racing at Castle Combe. So it'll be great to see as many of you in there as possible. So that is that's everything here at the moment. I think I've covered absolutely everything. If any of you at the circuit tomorrow, I shall see you there, because as I say, I'm hosting the racing school, which is a very busy day, but in between the various presentations, that hopefully catch up with anybody that is already in the race paddock. Otherwise, I shall be up there in the morning. I shall still attempt to do my gentle womble around the paddock in the morning. Commentary will go live at the well, we'll probably do some interviews with the GTs on the grid in the grid walk, which starts at 12:35, possibly earlier if they're running ahead of time, and then the race commentary through the afternoon, and it'll be great. I'm nervous, I'll be honest, I'm quite nervous, because it'll be the first time back in the commentary box since the scary the heart scare happened. So I am quite nervous, but it will go fine. Well, I'll just forget and just enjoy myself. And yeah, just be great fun being back where I love to be, frankly. Kieran Simmons, hello mate, good to see you, buddy. Still got to try and get you out as well, get the boy band back together. But listen, thank you all so much for joining me on tonight's show. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments. It does mean a lot. It was weird that I went so public with the post, but of course I disappeared on you all very publicly, and I was getting messages when they just did the official line that they have to do, that is Chris has been taken unwell, and that was why we got Clive up to take my place. And I have to say well done and thank you to Clive. He did brilliantly, because your prep levels are very different. Even between commentary box 1 and 2, your prep levels are likely to be different, because 1, your role is to keep going and keep the whole day flowing, and so you've got to just have even more info than the second box, where you get to go quiet between the races. And then when you're doing the interviews, you definitely don't need all of the same amount of information. And that's what Clive will have had. And he had to step in out of the blue for the rest of the afternoon on the Sunday. And he did an outstanding job. And I'll be forever, ever grateful to what he did, and very complimentary of how well he did at such short notice. But it was just very, very scary. It was what it was. I'll get back into where I love to be, because I missed the rest of the time there, and we'll have a wonderful race day, and I cannot wait for it. Thank you for bearing with me tonight. As I say, memory was occasionally here, there, and everywhere, and what have you. But it's been good to be back. I was tired before. You've put the life back in me again, so thank you very much. Just quickly, last couple of comments that are coming in. Joshy says, night, Dorsey. See you Saturday. Night, Joshy. Night, little mate. Keep well. Mike Cotton says, of course it will be fine. George Gillespie, enjoy your first Combe on the weekend, mate. Bye, Chris. Have a nice weekend. Great to see you, Dorsey, says Elliot. Thank you, mate. Dom, stay safe, everyone. See you all August bank holiday from Emma and Dom. Takes care, guys. And as Tim confirmed, Clive did well. I should be there on post 10, waving the flags on Saturday. See you there. Thanks, Dorsey. Go get some rest. Take care all. dilly, I will. And as you say, well done, Clive. We didn't know Dawesy had gone. Do you know what? I'm not even going to take that as an insult, mate. That is exactly how it should happen. And that's why I was so complimentary to Clive. It's the way it needs to be. The show's all about you guys at the end of the day. And it was great that we were able to just seamlessly move it. And honestly, I cannot compliment Clive enough for being able to do that. It's hard. Louise Murray, see you Saturday, Chris. Thanks, Louise. Appreciate it. Listen, all, go and have a fabulous night. I'll see you on Saturday. It's been an absolute pleasure to be back. Stay safe. Catch you soon.
Becoming a racing driver has never been easier with Castle Combe Circuit. Book your ARDS Novice Drivers Training course at the Wiltshire venue today. The easiest and quickest way into competitive on-track action.
Welcome to Castle Combe. My name's Alan Cooper. I'm the Chief Driving Racing Instructor here at this circuit. We're here today to do the Novice Driver Training course, often known as the ARDS course, which is the first way to start off and get your racing driving licence. So, no further ado, let's get on and show you what's involved.
So you've seen the format. Everyone here today passed their tests and now have their racing licence. Who knows? The next time I see them could be as I commentate on them in front of the usual packed house of racing fans here at Castle Combe Circuit. All you need to do to be next is to visit castlecombecircuit.co.uk and select Become a Racing Driver under the Racing tab. Becoming a racing driver is easier than you think with Castle Combe Circuit and Motorsport UK.